Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this session about a regional dimension, why regional dimension is important for AI adoption, and how digital innovation hubs, the DIHs, can play a role to foster this dimension. My name is Natalie Chernetska, and I'm head of business development at TerraLab. TerraLab is a digital innovation hub based in France. We are a spin-off of Institut Mines Telecom, which is a big French engineering school, and we are partners of the AI4EU project and also involved very much in a number of DIH initiatives in Europe. And this session is a hybrid session, so I have two speakers here, Suzanne Cura from IT Digital and Giovanna Galasso from Intellera Consulting. And we have three speakers who have connected online. We have Maite Caracedo from Funding Box. We have Nuno Varandas from F6S. And we have Sabine Zimmerman from Steinbeiß Europa Central. So how are we going to proceed? Well, I'll give the floor to the speakers one by one. They will share their insights, and then we are going to have a discussion. I will ask some questions, but also, obviously, I will take questions from the floor, from you, and also from people who are following us online. Right, so without further ado, let me introduce our first speaker. Susan Cura is European project lead at IT Digital. She has a wealth of experience in innovation, European project, coordinating them, consulting for them. She's always also involved in a variety of DIH initiatives. So she's going to share her insights on the topic. Susan, the floor is yours.
Thanks for the nice introduction, Natalie. Yes, we are doing a lot of stuff in IT Digital. I just want to shortly present how we are acting in the, how we are contributing also to the AI ecosystem. Oh, sorry. Yeah. My apologies. My apologies. I do hope you can hear me now. I would like to present EIT Digital, what we are doing in the whole AI ecosystem. So what is our approach? Our approach is integrated, multidisciplinary, and cross-country. You can see we are focused on five pillars, which is digital well-being, digital cities, digital tech, digital industry, and digital finance. And we have two pillars where we are working on, which is the ecosystem and entrepreneurship, and also the entrepreneurial education, where we are building the ecosystem around. You can see on the card where our nodes are, but there will, in a later slide, you will see even more. What are we doing here? On the education, we have master's school, doctoral school, professional school. We're also doing blended education. On the venture portfolio, we have startups that are coming out of innovation activities. And then we have the accelerator, which is dealing with the scale-ups, the deep tech scale-ups. We are trying to support and get and increase their market outreach. Artificial intelligence, we have it in all the pillars. We have contributed also to a European approach to artificial intelligence. We made here a policy perspective. We have supported a lot of startups here that were working in artificial intelligence. These are the most recent ones. So the point is here just to show you, because Natalie was mentioning, and this session is about the regional dimension. So what we are doing is we are trying to support them with our nodes. So the startups and the scale-ups are supported by the nodes, and then through our pan-European ecosystem, they are then supported to get the market outreach. And as you can see here on the last point is the entrepreneurial education. For example, we have here business impacts of AI is one of the courses we are offering. So the point is here also the students that are coming out of this entrepreneurial education have the possibility to create their company and then enter into our accelerator. And all the nodes that you are seeing here, and the two red ones, is just to let you know these will be new satellites in our ecosystem. So our nodes are acting as DIHs. EIT Digital has already, as Nathalie has already mentioned, has been involved in different projects. We are clearly here on the AI on demand in the AI4EU. We were contributing to the Big Data Value PPP. We were involved in digital innovation hubs projects in manufacturing, and we are now clearly also focused on the European digital innovation hubs, where some of our nodes are also here in trying to become. Well, they were already nominated from the countries, and they are involved, will apply for becoming a European Digital Innovation Hub. So thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Suzanne, for this overview of IT digital activities. I was very interested to learn that you actually have nodes all over Europe. I was not aware that you have your nodes as far north as Tallinn, and also Athens is forthcoming, which, you know, it's always very interesting to see that regional dimension covers many regions, you know, in north, south, east, and west. And also another aspect that you mentioned, something that hasn't been mentioned much in this in this event, is business impact of AI, which is extremely important. We were talking about technical skills, but obviously AI has a huge business impact. Thank you very much. And we'll come back to you when the discussion will start. And now let's move to our next speaker, who is joining us online, Maite Caracedo from Funding Box. Maite, are you ready? And while we're being ready, I will briefly say that obviously Funding Box doesn't need introduction. You already heard number of representatives. They are running open calls for AI4EU project and a variety of other projects. And Maite is Chief Business Developer and co-founder, very much involved obviously with open calls, but also with DIH networks, such as DIHnet, and also something that she mentioned, she's connecting deep tech startups to funding opportunities. Obviously, deep tech involves AI. So Maite, I hope you're there, and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Then I will go ahead. So thank you for this nice introduction. That will also help me to save some time, because normally I run out of time when I start talking. So I will go directly to my presentation today, because as I'm working at Funding Box, as you were mentioning, I'm also here today representing I4MS, where I'm taking the role of the coordinator of the coordination and support action there. So I think there is no need also to mention too much about I4MS, because I know we are in front of a group of stakeholders that might already know that we are the biggest initiative in Europe for supporting the digital transformation of manufacturing SMEs. We are not a new initiative. We are on the fourth phase, okay, of I4MS, where we are working with 35 million euros for supporting manufacturing SMEs in adopting these digital technologies around different areas by giving them access to these digital technologies, access to test before invest, knowledge, mentoring, connections, okay? And maybe it's worth to mention that in this phase, we are putting the focus on what we call the underrepresented regions, right? So we really want I4MS to be spread all around Europe. And for that, we as the coordination and support action, we have developed a set of initiatives that I will maybe mention when I'm talking about regions and the connection with them, okay? So about the role of AI on our initiative, so as you can see in this slide, we are an ecosystem of innovation actions that are focused on different technologies. And AI, okay, is the focus on two of our projects, Kit for SME and AI Region. Okay, so we are for sure tackling also this initiative. But I will go straight to the topic, because we were always very interested in connecting with the regions from I4MS and from the coordination and support action. And why is this? What is the value that we see in connecting with the regions, where we see here a win-win situation, right? So on the side of the European Commission initiatives, we can see that we are funding innovative and high-cost initiatives, okay, with the best competence centers in Europe in many cases. We are funding experiments, but just among a reduced number of early adopters, right? And also we are setting up different marketplaces that are there for the use of SMEs. But on the other hand, we need that demand. And the demand, we look at the regions for having this. So if we look at the regions, what we see them is that they also need, they also support the companies in this digital transformation with their own policies. So there's really a very important need for us to align with them. But also in many cases, they are defining their own initiatives and kind of starting from scratch. They don't really leverage on what is already available, right? So this is also why we are trying to connect with them. And what we see very often is, in many cases, neither the regions or the manufacturing companies in the regions are able to understand, okay, the whole range of initiatives that are in Europe. So we really wanted to be the bridge between those fields and trying to connect them. We mostly do this through some of our activities, like, for instance, the I4MS online community. This is a place where all our stakeholders can come. We have almost 1,700 registered users, and 42% of them are SMEs. I really say this number because it was difficult to achieve, and it's not very frequent that the SMEs are participating in this type of online communities, okay? And what we offer them there is a set of tools and matchmaking opportunities, also a brokering system where those companies can come to us and we can address them to the right innovation action or the right solution for this challenge they might have, okay, on digital transformation. Also, we offer to the regions our catalog of trainings. We were compiling all around Europe the offer on digital trainings for smart manufacturing coming from our innovation actions, but also from digital innovation hubs. Also, it's worth to mention the big network of contact points that we have all around Europe. So regions, digital innovation hubs, any multiplier of SMEs can reach us. They can reach our network of contact points and be our voice in the region. And so we almost have 100 I4MS contact points all around Europe. And finally, the success stories. We also learned that for inspiring companies, for making them aware of what we can achieve through I4MS technologies, funding opportunities, and services, we always need to showcase what has been done with previous projects. So talking about those success stories, we also have developed an initiative that is called the Ifrms Label. And the label is applied to those successful experiments, okay, that were happening in different regions in Europe with I4MS funding and technology. So normally we take those successful experiments, we go to the regions, we present them, and we show that they have this successful early adopters in the regions that they can further support in a deployment phase afterwards, after we support them with the pilot, but they can also use to showcase, right, to show to the other manufacturing companies what can be achieved with I4MS for digital transformation. And always what we try in any case is to attract them to our marketplaces, our initiatives, and to be this brokering between the regions and the I4MS innovation actions. So maybe to finalize soon with my timing, we are also a bottom-up initiative where we really want to assess and to know from firsthand what regions and other stakeholders are thinking and I'm going through when adopting this digital solution. So this is why we have two working groups. One of them is on skills, but the other one is on best practices. There, for instance, I can show one slide on one of these working groups that took place on last June, where 50 representatives of European regions were participating, and we were asking them which they thought were the main challenges of manufacturing SMEs when it was time for them to adopt these digital solutions, right? And even if many times we think that funding might be one of the constraints or even access to skill, which indeed it is, right? But what we identify can be also a good base for our debate today, because what they think that is the main constraint is the lack of support to manufacturing SMEs to take the full advantage of digitalization. And also they might have constraints on awareness of the importance of digital transformation, right? So maybe there is too much offer, but they do not know how to go through that offer. So to me, these answers offer a very good room for debate today, right? I think is room there for AI4EU platform, for digital innovation hubs, for regions to solve this challenge. So with this, I will finish my part just by inviting stakeholders in the room and online to join Ifrms initiative as contact points. You are all welcome to spread the word about our initiative, and I'm here for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maite, for this presentation, for this overview of another project, AI4MS, AI for manufacturing, and very interesting what you said, that you're focusing not only on industrialized regions, but on underrepresented regions, and obviously emphasize the importance of support, best practices, and success stories. And with respect to success stories, we just had a session with a number of people highlighting their success stories from AI4EU project. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And we are moving to our next speaker, who is also online. It's Nuno Varandas from F6S. He's head of innovation services at F6S, and F6S is another platform for entrepreneurs, for startups, to connect them to deal flows, to funding opportunities, to open calls, to skills, to infrastructure, etc. Nuno, are you following us? Are you ready?
Yes, do you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay, let me know if you see my screen. Thank you very much. So good afternoon to everyone. So today I will talk you a little bit about F6S and also about AI within F6S platform. So today F6S has more than 1.6 million tech startups in our platform, out of which I have already identified more than 12,000 working on AI. And we work also with 4,000 corporates within F6S. So we work in different areas, mainly on networking, on creating value for the founders and the startups by connecting those with corporate and venture capital and other opportunities. And we also help the corporates in finding the right startups that work together to resolve their challenges and other activities that they have. In parallel, we work on intelligence reports that will help corporates to better understand the market of startups, as well as how new technology are being driven. But I think what is important within this network of today and the event that we are participating is that if I look to F6S and I look to what we have today in terms of programs focused on AI, I've just identified on the 7th of December 201 programs. We are talking about more than 142 acceleration programs from corporates and as well as accelerators. Here we can find Bosch, Vodafone, as well as Techstars, Startup Bootcamp, and other accelerator programs. Investment funds, and the curiosity here is that 40 out of these 48 investment funds are within Europe, which is quite interesting. So there are opportunities for startups and SMEs to find investment in Europe. And then, of course, the other part of contests, competitions, and startup events. In fact, Europe has a huge representation in all the domains of AI within F6S, followed, of course, by North America. In terms of how F6S is dealing within European projects and participating as well in initiatives similar to Funding Box and other activities. So we also manage funds. We have managed more than 62 million euros in terms of funds and more than 138 open calls. And currently we have 4 projects which has also opportunities for SMEs and startups, mainly the AI Plan for EU, the Smart AI, and the AI for Media. All of them have cascade funding opportunities. Mobi Data Lab will be slightly different. It has opportunities of engagement, but no funding associated to it. So I think I will stop here and be ready for answering to any questions that you may have after the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nuno, giving us an overview of the platform. I was really surprised by some of the numbers you mentioned, like 12,000 AI enterprises. That's pretty impressive. So
Startups and SMEs.
very interesting with what you're doing. Now, let's move to our next speaker, who is also online. It's Sabine Zimmerman. She's a senior project manager specializing in future of work, technologies and regions at Steinbach Europa Centrum. And she has a wealth of experience in strategic policies, innovation. She's also involved in a variety of projects, for example, AI radio that you might have heard about. Sabina, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me? The probably question posed the most during online and the hybrid events nowadays. Now I hope you also can.
Yes, we can see your slide.
My screen.
Excellent.
All right. Fantastic. Yes. Thanks a lot, Natalie, for introducing, and thanks a lot also to the other speakers. It was really interesting to hear from those European initiatives, and now I think it will be interesting also to hear some specifically regional examples of AI support, and that's what I'm going to bring from Baden-Württemberg. Sorry. So most of you will know, I suppose, Baden-Württemberg is in the southwest of Germany. We have 11 million inhabitants, and our gross domestic product by industry is 32%, so it's really quite high. And the same is true for R&D expenditure, which is 5.8%, which is among the highest ones in Europe, and even worldwide probably. I'm sure you also know we have a very large amount of SMEs and mid-caps in Baden-Württemberg, a lot of them being hidden champions in manufacturing and production. Our economy is highly linked to economies worldwide, so we are very reliant on international networks and collaborations, and similarly we are strongly involved and networked on the European scale, and the same is true for Steinbach, which a lot of you will know, I'm sure. So we for the past 30 years try to link SMEs and universities in Baden-Württemberg to the latest knowledge in Europe and beyond, trying to enable those organizations to utilize not only the know-how they generate themselves, but also the know-how that is available in Europe and worldwide. Having said that, I'll show you some of the regional initiatives that we undertake or that are undertaken in Baden-Württemberg, and mainly also co-funded by the public ministries to enable and enhance AI uptake or in Baden-Württemberg companies and organizations. For example, just a year ago, there was a challenge to set up an AI innovation park, which really aims to strengthen capacities in AI-based products and services. So that's what you said, Natalie. So the business impact of AI is one of the main focus here. And this is being co-funded with 50 million Europe and with even more from the private side. But of course, we only will see in the coming years which impact this has on the regional economy. But of course, we all hope for a very visible and a big impact. We also have a competition which is called AI Champions, and here outstanding examples of AI excellence are presented. This now points to the excellence component, so not specifically to the commercialization right away, but especially to scientific and innovation excellence in AI, and this is also very well received in Baden-Württemberg. In organizations that you know, and need to have good practice examples and showcases of how AI can be utilized and implemented. That's also what I think Maite was saying. So we need good practice examples of how deployment of AI can really work in SMEs and mid-caps especially. All of you, or a lot of you might also know the Vanguard Initiative, and this, of course, again, is a European initiative. But it's very much supported by Baden-Württemberg and the regional government, and we are so really the Ministry of Economic Affairs is supporting the AI pilot in Vanguard. Here, existing knowledge is being pooled, and the uptake and deployment is supported in companies all over Europe. And also, if you're interested in that, they are having their annual event next week. So go to the website if you're interested to find out more about the Vanguard AI pilot, and also potential possibilities to get involved as a region. And finally, already innovation hubs, digital innovation hubs were mentioned, and also here Baden-Württemberg is very active. We have 10 regional digital innovation hubs funded by the regional government. There is 3 national innovation hubs which play an important role. One of them is on applied artificial intelligence, and this is also one of the lighthouses of AI research and innovation in Baden-Württemberg. And there is actually 6 EDIH candidates in Baden-Württemberg, which is quite many, and we are going to see who's going to win in this competition. But one is the EDIH on artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. We are also going to be involved in this, and we as Steinbeis, we will try to focus on the European networking, and we will bring our networks and our connections to other European digital innovation hubs into this project. And finally, Maite already mentioned the AI Regio project. So we are also having quite some European projects in Baden-Württemberg, of course, and some specifically dealing with AI, such as AI Regio. And here we have also already in the project experiments being implemented in the regions active in AI Regio, and here really regional SMEs are supported to take up AI knowledge and to test it in their ecosystems and see if this can work for them on a also in their daily business. So I think that's an important point beyond the purely regional aspects that I have shown in the previous slides. So that's a very quick overview from my side. Thanks a lot, and I think we'll have some more time to exchange also in the coming minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabine. I really like the way you picked on previous talks. You mentioned AI impact on business. You also mentioned the importance of success stories. And what I also like that you mentioned the fact that development of AI needs also investment in research and development, and it needs policies. And that brings us to our final speaker, Giovanna Galasso, who is here just next to me. She's associate partner at Intellera Consulting, previously PwC private sector. And Giovanna is an expert on digital innovation policies, on AI adoption in public sector. She's involved in a variety of projects, Vision, DIH4AI, Etapas, and something she was instrumental in setting up an AI DIH network, which was very active and laid the grounds for future actions. Giovanna, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Natalie. I will start. I'm, as Natalie said, part of the DIH4AI project. We are part together. Sergio already presented this project this morning. The project aims to build a network of AI on-demand innovation and collaboration platform interoperable with DI4EU, supporting the joint development and provision of services through a sustainable network of regional AI DIHs and targeted the local SMEs and GovTech agencies. In this project, we are 12 partners, but 5 of these partners are AI regional digital innovation hubs, which were selected from the DIH network. This project, as also Natalie said, was set the basis to set up not only a network of AI digital innovation hubs, understand the state of the art, but also to work on collaboration methodologies that we have been trying to implement in this project. I also to mention that this is a project that also is based also in the MIDI project mentioned by already, because the platform that will be interoperable with DI4EU, DIHUL was developed in that project. We have been working on intra-regional, intra-DIH regional experimentation, so at the regional level. The 5 DIHs are been working on experiment for their SMEs ecosystem, promoting a human-centric approach to AI and also to the use of the platform. More or less 20 experiments will be carried out by the end of the project in several types of services. Here is an example. The Munich Innovation Hub for Applied AI, for example, represented by Fortis, will develop this PNI platform, and this platform enabled the trustworthy development of AI solutions. We will also investigate the possibility to integrate into the platform the VDA ethical certification developed by Fortis in order to provide a trustworthy by default platform for certified AI solution. I choose this example because it's on AI ethical certification, which will be important for also for the apps. But we also have these 5 apps also will carry out 10 cross-regional collaboration. For example, there is an interest from the TNO representing the South Netherlands Digital Innovation Innovation Hub to integrate these functionalities into the TNO AI testing and experimentation facility manufacturing. This is an example where we have an experiment at the regional level, but also at the cross-border level. Not always you need to let's say to have also cross-regional, cross-border collaboration, because first of all you need to experiment at the local level. But this was the case. We have also open calls up to the end of December. Why? Because we will have also additional digital innovation hubs experimented with SMEs. The role of a digital innovation hub, they can support regional AI adoption. However, we need the synergies among the local stakeholders involved in the ecosystem. If you have a look at the graphs on the right side of this slide, we carried out a survey in the Vision project to understand the links, the relationship between AI Research Center of Excellence and Digital Innovation Hub. And you see that they connect to the market directly with SMEs or startup or with industry. So with still not a lot through the Digital Innovation Hub. So the knowledge, the awareness of what a Digital Innovation Hub is and can do at the regional level still needs to be explored, and maybe the EndMap platform could also support in this. Finally, the role of the public sector. We don't have to underestimate the relevance of the public sector, because public authorities in Europe procure every year 2 trillion euros in work product and services. It means 14% of the total European GDP. It means a huge market, and public authorities could procure AI solution from local AI startups and SMEs, not only from the big companies. Here, yes, we need, I would say, simpler tender procedures, but here there is, I see at least a role of at the regional level of the Digital Innovation Hub to connect with SMEs with the local public sector in supporting the adoption of AI at the regional level.
Thank you very much, Giovanna. It was very interesting that you showed us one project which is building upon AI on a demand platform. It actually has a mission to go further using AI on demand platform, DIHs, and also moving towards a role that digital innovation hubs, digital innovation hub networks, and future European digital innovation hub can still play. There is a huge market potential, as you say, for them to boost this adoption. Now, the time is unfortunately against us, so we won't have much time for the questions. I will ask one and will ask my speakers to answer, and then probably then you can have your coffee or tea or whatever you want. So, and my question would be I'll try to put two questions together and you can answer the part that you like best. What are the main obstacles for AI adoption on regional level, and how can digital innovation hubs, digital DIH networks of different kinds, and European digital innovation hubs can help to overcome these obstacles? And so maybe Susanna, I'll start with you, then move to Giovanna, and then we move to online speakers.
I think the one of the most obstacle is that, first of all, artificial intelligence is not regional. So the point is you will need to, it is clear that you need a regional support because SMEs are going to their DIHs or to their regional partners, and then you will need that these regional partners are connected to European level, because artificial intelligence at the end doesn't stop at the border. So I think the more the regional support can be done connected in networks on a European level, the better they can help their startups, their SMEs.
Thank you very much, Susanna. Giovanna?
I would say I agree with Susan. I would like to also add on top of it, which in terms of obstacles, I think there is also a misalignment and overlapping of fund and programs. Also, I think Maite said that it's difficult for the SMEs to understand what is the best opportunity. Just to make an example, in Italy, we have a huge amount now of money in our national plan from the recovery fund. There is a specific mission 4, component 2, investment 1.2 is 5 is for to build up to 12 regional innovation ecosystem. This measure is not perfectly aligned to the European Digital Innovation Hub approach. So I think we need, for sure, a regional focus, but a central coordination is needed.
Regional focus, but central coordination is needed. Thank you, Giovanna. And so my three speakers on online, Maite, Sabine, and Nuno, would you say in any order? Maybe we'll go in this order. Maite, Sabine, and Nuno.
Good. So I really agree with my colleagues there on the stage, right? So also speaking from my experience, where I was together with some marketplaces to be launched online, very similar on the spirit to what wants to be built with AI4EU. I might say that the number of SMEs connected to them was never really enough, maybe. And here is where I see an important role for the DIHs or European DIHs, right? As I was mentioning before with Ifrms contact points, I think that DIHs should be our local nodes, right? They are closer to the SMEs and they can help us overcome or guide these obstacles that the companies, they do not know how to solve. But they are going to look always close to proximity on help here. And maybe also an advice or an experience for AI4EU coming from the net, right? We also were feeling this gap, right, between the European Commission policies and the DIHs all around Europe, trying to be this umbrella organization. I think there's really room for AI4EU to really, occupy this place. Okay, because as I was mentioning, there is too much information, even too much funding at some moment, right? So we really need to digest all this information, funding opportunities, tools, data sets, everything that you are providing that is very useful, but make it easier for the companies through the hubs.
The same constat is made, too much information, even too much funding, and it needs to be coordinated and streamlined. Thank you very much, Maite. Sabine?
Yes, I can only agree with the previous speakers. What you said is definitely true. The real progress can only be made on the regional level, but especially the majority of the SMEs are non-high tech, so you really need to take them on the hand and identify, speak the same language as they do, and identify what needs do they actually have and which solutions are suitable to those needs. And sometimes it might not be a fully fledged, or most likely it's not a fully fledged AI solution, but it's you need to start with small showcasing on small examples how AI applications can be useful for the business of this company. So I think the regional dimension is very important, but as you said, at the same time, someone needs to be knowledgeable about the European dimension, the European possibilities that are there. Only then we can supply the best suitable knowledge to all companies, to those that only need small solutions, and to those that need solutions that we are not able to supply locally. But in this case, we need to have the network, for example, by the European innovation hubs, to direct them to the right place. So and that, I think, is the job of us being very well connected on the European level, to always make this clear also in regional discussions.
very much, Sabine, for reminding us that it's our job to take those SMEs by hand and lead them towards funding opportunities. Nuno, please, final words are yours.
Thank you. So, well, what I can add here is another dimension, that is, there are even SMEs that don't understand what is AI, because AI is a big word, okay? It's something that, well, first they have to digitalize themselves, then they have to go a next step. And AI looks to be like, well, that's years from now, not now. They need the DIHs to help them understand that AI is not like a big thing that they will never achieve. It is something that is achievable for them. It is something that it's tangible and able to use if adopted to their business case. And so I think this is the right moment of the DIHs, the right place to them is really to help them, to capacitate them. And then when they don't have the right resources locally, go to the other ones where probably there are other DIHs with similar research and innovation, smart specialization strategies, and where the same type of companies have similar problems, and they could exchange and they could create this federation of DIHs that connect with each other and help their SMEs. I think this level is also important here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nuno, for these final wise words. I'm closing the session. I would like to thank once again my speakers, Maite, Sabine, Nuno, Suzanne, Giovanna. The audience, you can always talk to the speakers in a pause. You can contact them. They're all public people. If you have questions, you can contact them on various social networks. If you have questions. Also, thank you very much, Roberta, Simone, and the technical team. It's never easy to manage a hybrid event, and you're doing very well. Thanks once again. And if you have any questions, please, we are here and we can answer them in person or online. Thank you. Bye-bye.